Hi everyone, my name's Nicole Kirstner, and excuse the puffy eyes, but this is what having a 5 month old and being in school and working looks like. So I apologize for the puffy, tired eyes. This is my first year in the MSW program. I haven't started my field placement yet. I'll start that in the fall, and yeah, so far so good. So the first question, what culture means to me? I would describe culture as a way a person identifies themselves. Culture influences the way a person acts, with the way they view different family traditions, and even the way they present themselves in society. So I identify my culture as I'm one a was raised in a middle class family, all Caucasian. We were really big into family traditions, Christmas dinners, always cooked home meal. Every night for dinner, we would always sit down together. So my family really emphasized the family dinners and family aspects, as well as education was a really big thing. I remember ever since I was young, it was you guys are going to college. That was kind of the only avenue that my parents told us is there's no if ands or buts. You're going to college, you're getting an education, which was really good. But if I didn't want to go to college, then it was kind of my parents probably wouldn't be okay with that. So um, I would also identify my culture as I'm a mom, a new mom. So that's something that I'm learning to adjust to, and it's very different. I'm actually passing some of my family traditions to my son. My son is half Caucasian, half African American, so learning African American culture is something completely different than what I grew up in because his dad grew up completely different from me. So it's a balancing act, which I really like because it makes me be more open minded, makes me learn different traditions, different ways people celebrate things, different ways people talk to each other. It's very interesting. Um, I also grew up in a small town in Texas, so very conservative people around me, which is completely different than the way I grew up. I grew up very open minded. My parents made sure to teach me not to judge, to be just a well rounded person. I also went to a high school that was very diverse, which I think really helped me um, and being able to relate to different people, which is I think why I'm really into social work because I feel like I can relate to people in a weird way, in a different way um, than most people can. So, um, next question. I don't think I had any oppression growing up because of my culture or ethnicity. I think more now that I have a biracial son and that I have an African American boyfriend, I feel, especially growing up in a small town, I feel a little bit of that um, with the racism, and it's very difficult um, to deal with, especially since I didn't grow up having to deal with any oppression or racism. In order, the next question, in order to be a social worker, I need to know more about culture, ethnicity, and or impression in the following way. Um, I think I need to know more about different cultures. I think I'm only familiar with how I grew up and how my boyfriend grew up. So I think that being able to meet a little bit different people and will help me really become a better social worker and a better person. Um, Other thoughts I have regarding the race, culture, and ethnicity that I think people need to know about. Um, I would say to that is I think we just all need to love each other. I think no judgments, everybody comes from a different background and you don't know someone's background. And I'm learning that each day I get older. And people can teach us stuff as if you're willing to learn. And I think having, living in America, we see so many different types of people, and I think we just all need to be willing to accept that. Um, so how might these beliefs and values impact my work with clients? So I work at a domestic violence shelter, so I see tons of different people, which really is helpful towards me because I deal with so many different types of clients that come from different backgrounds, and they teach me a lot. They make me be a better person in a way. So I think me being open-minded and willing to accept everyone really helps me in my work as a social worker. So the last question, how do I approach the topic of culture with patients that I work with? I even say this now to the clients that I work with at the domestic violence shelter. I say, hey, I might not be familiar with how you grew up, but help me understand. Help me understand your culture. I want to be able to relate to you on that aspect. So I think as long as you're willing to be open with them and let them know that, hey, I'm not familiar with something, but I'm willing to take advice, criticism, anything. So I'm sorry for my tired eyes and my rambling, but it's really nice to meet you guys, and I'm excited for the semester.